I what I wanted to say is that there has always been something which I've never got quite to the heart of, which I have tried many times, and that is what it was I learnt through our educative relationship, which I hope would constitute a tiny part of your eye knowledge. This whole thing about trying to, and it to do it, Jack, is to me to understand something that I think I want to understand. It isn't just about my relationship with you, although it's that as well. There is something at the heart of our educative relationship that for me was formative, that actually reminded me of kind of, the Plato shadows on the cave wall thing. It's as if there was an ideal or a symbol of an archetype. That's the word.
Okay.
And that's what I actually got from you. It was a confrontation with some very, very profound instincts and intuitions about what leading a good life was about. Now, that to me is what education is for. It's about leading a good life. And that's what, in a sense, I learnt from you, not only in the process of, but also in the derivation of, in the sense that I could extract from it something. I haven't quite got there yet, but there is something in there. There's a nugget, a piece of gold in there that genuinely has something to say, which I think would reflect back to you also as a gift of all the years that you spent as my tutor, and then also as just a colleague and friend. So there's something in there that to me is very important, because I think, for me, you've already done it, Jack.
Right.
You've already been that guide, that mentor, that enabler, that empowerer, that person who never takes power from another, but actually helps that other to gain that power. You've done that, and I think you've done that with all your PhD students. That seems to me to be what you do. There's nothing particularly specific here. It's what you do. I think you've already done it, you see.
Yeah.
And the search for finding some of the answers which you're looking for, I think, are already within what you've already done. I think, genuine, this is not a compliment. I think there's something quite perfect about the way that you actually enable and construct educative relationships. You have a phenomenal ability to show someone their better self. I don't know whether you're fully conscious of how you do it, Jack, but that's what you do. And I have heard Jackie DeLong and Ben and so many other people say this about you. So it's not just a fluke. It's what you do. And isn't that part of what you're trying to extract? Or
it is. It is trying to understand that better. Now, what I'll do is, again, I'll work on my own reflections to say, how aware am I of the processes and those educational processes that I think we've gone through?
Because then also comes exactly what you said, which is responsibility. You have this phenomenal power of insight, of goodness, I think. Therefore, you have a responsibility to communicate that. To me, that seems to be what will be your great legacy to the world.
It would be lovely.
Does that make any sense?
It's actually, it's touching me very deeply, because this is what I actually feel that I want to be about. If you think now, okay, what is Jack seeing himself in terms of that living wisely or living a productive life?
That's it, Jack.
Then it's very much related to what you've just been saying. Now, I'm also very,
and if you're the great teacher that I think you are, a teacher in that lovely, almost Zen sense of teacher, then it is for your students also to learn what it is you are as a teacher. That in a sense what you've done is teach me what a great teacher you are. Now that is not, I don't mean that in a self-limiting way, but what you've done is you've helped me to embody some of those values which you have actually somehow communicated to me through our educative relationship. I know, Jack, I know it as clear as I know that I'm a woman and I am here now, that I am a better person because of your teaching. Now, again, we're talking without compliments, without any of that crap.
Yeah.
This is the truth as I see it. Now, that is your responsibility to communicate. Now, I know I've said that before, but it is also, now I'm understanding, my responsibility for my part to communicate that and reflect that back to you.
Yeah.
And that is my obligation, if you like, which, because it's educative and wonderful, I take up lovingly. Mm. It's not a burden. It's a kind of, it's a gift that you have given to me and I give you back enriched. To me, that makes sense.
And it's also making really good sense, to me. So, again, this is something that I'd like to make available, as I say, first to Pete and Marie, and the sense of asking, right, for the responses. We might even have the video, YouTube conversations with both Pete and Marie, and
that's a good idea.
See how we actually develop these ideas, because I take that sense of responsibility. And I'd love to be able to communicate, yes, you're right, about what it is that I think that I've been doing educationally, that I value so highly. And I do know that the energy that I have is evoked, even as we were speaking and you were saying what you were saying, I was actually feeling an enhanced flow of energy and commitment literally in myself, because it was resonating with what I see myself to be about. So I'll really work out what it is that I, again, think that I do educationally, share it with Pete, Marie and yourself, and then hopefully we can bring that into the conference on the 3rd of September, which is all about, this idea of generating a new epistemology for educational knowledge with educational responsibility.
You see, there is a sorry, just a moment, I'll just turn it down.
Yeah.
There is a reciprocity in the sense that if you've actually been able to do what I think you've been able to do, then I must be able to articulate what I can articulate. Right. Because working with you has helped me to make transparent what educational development is like in the living of it. Okay. And I can see that and I understand it.
Yeah.
And I could talk the hind legs off a donkey about it, because you have actually, that lovely word in German, beibringen, which means to bring by or to bring alongside someone. That is what you've done, I think. And you do have a responsibility. I've been saying this for years, and you know that.
Yeah, but,
you have.
Okay, so what you've been able to articulate today, which is really great, is what I see as my own purpose, in the kind of productive life I've tried to live.
And I know that because I have been alongside you to an extent, or next to you for such a long time, that I have imbibed, or I have somehow, that those values have so infused my own understanding. Of course, with my absolute conscious, acceptance of that. It hasn't been a passive process where you've actually done it to me. It has been something that you have shown certain values, which I've opened the doors and said, come in, I want that. That's what I want in my life. That is what I want to do. That is what I want to be. And I recognize that in you embodied it. Okay. And therefore, I think what I've done, an awful lot of what I've done, apart, the thesis is one, what's the word, a symbol of that. But I think what I've actually done is learnt to the core what you represent as an educator.
That's great.
And it's not a self-limiting thing, it's not a finite thing, it's an infinite thing, because education itself is part of the life flow. You've helped me be caught up more by that flow of energy, because our energies have resonated together and they have actually, they've become exponential. And that's why I've been in pain for 3 years and I haven't done any of this sort of thing, but it's just part of me now. I can be this articulate about something I haven't been this articulate about for 3 years, simply because you've sparked that fuse again. And that's what you always do. You're a genius. You're a rat bag, but you're a genius.
Well, that feels fantastic. Okay.
Good.
On that note, being both rat bag and genius.
That's my job.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, look, we'll speak. Yes, we'll speak soon. This will be on YouTube in about 10 minutes.
Brilliant. Okay.
Look, yes. Bye-bye.
Great to see you.
And
Bye.
You. And you. Bye-bye.
Take care.
And you.